Which one do I need to do that one? Okay. So just to go ahead and record our team call. So tonight is December the 10th, and it is our team call night. So every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern right now, we have our team call. And so this is the call, if you're watching the recording, where we go over trainings and we go over just team announcements and all the good stuff. So we always start off with recognition because I'm always so excited about what our cool team is doing. And so first up is our December recognition. So our top 5 coaches of the week, congratulations, Michelle Chapman, Carrie Summers, Amanda Harold, Kimberly Yorgi, and Amy Myers. So that number with the weekly top 5, how you get on that board is when you are enrolling coaches, when you are enrolling challengers, and when you are just in general having sales. So that's what's called PV. Sometimes when we talk acronyms, I know a lot of people get confused, but PV is personal volume. So anything that you personally order or that someone orders through your link is considered PV. And so that goes into the factor of the weekly top 5 as well. On the Success Club board, 3 lives plus club is me, Success Club 6. On the board so already is Michelle Chapman at SC4, Mara Chester at SC4, and Carrie Summers at SC2. So we are very, very low on people on the board this month. It's not surprising to me. I'm not happy about it, but it's not surprising to me. The first part of December, it's like trying to herd cats, getting people to pay attention to what you're trying to get them to do. So it's not surprising that people are all over the place. So don't get discouraged by the fact that if things are frustrating right now, or if people are not wanting to commit right now, or if, hey, Mara, if it's a struggle talking and inviting to people, do not give up on that, because all of the groundwork that you're laying right now, even if it's not coming to fruition right this moment, it will come to fruition by the end of the month. It's a really big deal for you not to give up right now and to maintain consistency. Right now is the most important time of the year to be consistent with your personal journey, with sharing it. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is sharing your journey on social media and just social media tips and tricks in general. I'm going to help you guys with that, because I know that sometimes the unknown of that can hold people back. And so this is going to be primarily a training call, but I do want to leave room at the end for specific questions. So if you have like, I don't know how to do this, can you show me how to do this? I want to be able to, like, on the spot show you how to do it. But like I said, we have plenty of time left in the month to get yourself on Success Club board. It's literally helping 3 people. I also wanted to give an elite report. Up until the very last moment, you're going to get an elite report from me every single week, because now Beachbody is giving us an elite report. So one of the most exciting things you need to know is that our team is number 400 in the entire network. Of over 400,000 coaches, our team, Team Nourished, is the number 400 coach or team in the entire network, which is a really, really huge deal. I'm really excited about that for us. And what's even more exciting about that for us, I was talking to Jen Hines today about this, that number will only drop. From here on out, we will not go up in number. From here on out, we will, every single week, we will continue to get lower and lower and lower in numbers, which is what we want, right? That means we're higher ranking, means lower numbers. Yeah, so we're shooting, our kind of stretch goal for the year was top 200. I don't know if we'll drop 200 more points this month, but I mean, fingers crossed, we could totally get there if everybody pulls together and really just blows it out of the park. But what does blowing it out of the park mean for us? Number one, that means we have to hit elite. Like, non-negotiable at this point in time. Hitting elite is our team's sole focus. And so what does that mean? Everyone on our team needs to help 3 people non-negotiably on this, like in this last month. And that should not be difficult, guys. We have one of the biggest launches that in the history of all of Beachbody. COVID lockdowns are shutting gyms across the country. and it's the end of the year. So there's really no reason why you can't find 3 people to help this month. They're out there. So just talk to them, invite them to our boot camps, invite them to our team. They want to learn more about coaching. We are going to be having, you might want to mark on your calendars. We are going to have a, now I can't think, what is it called? Coach opportunity call. It's a Zoom call on the, let me give you the correct date so I don't tell you the wrong date. Next Wednesday. So it's next Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have a coach opportunity Zoom call. Myself, Cece, and Jen Hines are all going to be being the main presenters. Anybody that, so I get to bring one coach. So the coach that invites the most people has the most people on. You will be asked to speak from our team. Same for Jen, same for Cece. It'll be just telling your story. So it's nothing to prepare. We'll just have you tell your story, why you got into coaching, what coaching has done for you, that kind of thing. So I would really love for you guys to be inviting to that. Talk to the people who you think would make amazing coaches, be vulnerable, ask them, hey, I don't know if you've ever considered this before, but I think you would be an amazing coach because compliment them, guys. Everyone loves to be complimented. Everyone loves to feel good about themselves. And so you get to be that encouragement. So be sure you invite them. And that's kind of our next part is just announcements. Mark your calendars. So the coach opportunity call is next Wednesday. That is not in place of our team call. That is in addition to our team call. Our team call is going to be huge. It's going to be a celebration call. Next week will be our official 5-star diamond. Like we are out of qualification next week. It means lifetime 5-star diamond team, which is a really, really massive deal within Beachbody. So be sure you're on that call, bring a glass of wine, be ready to party. We're really not going to do very much other than like hang out and just chill and drink. Well, I won't be drinking any wine because I will still be on the cleanse, but I'll drink Power Greens or something. So cheers it up with some Power Greens. But be on that call. Also mark your calendars. There will not be a team call December 24th. And then also two more announcements. We are having a special team call in place of our normal team call on December the 30th. So usually our team calls are on Thursday night. That's New Year's Eve. We're not going to have a call on New Year's Eve. We're having a call on Wednesday, December the 30th. Same time, same place, same link, all the things. We're having Brooke Ritchie, my mindset coach, come on and speak to us. I've invited Cece and Jen's team to join us in that. She is going to lead us through a vision exercise for all of our 2021 goals. So we're going to get a really clear vision of what we want to do with our personal business, with our personal body, with our life in 2021. And she's been so gracious to come on and lead us through that. So I'm really excited about that. And then also if you are doing 9-week Control Freak and you do not have a boot camp to invite to, please feel free to invite to mine. I don't ever mind if you guys want to come into our boot camp, you want to bring your people into the boot camp. I'm always happy to host that. I'm doing it anyway, so you might as well take advantage of it. But be inviting to 9-week Control Freak. The customer launch is on the 21st. So if you've had people who are like super hung up on the coach thing, which should not be an issue anyway, because there literally is like no contract. I have people enrolling as coaches right now who will 29 days from now cancel their coach account. We already know that. They only signed up because they want advance. They want to be able to get their stuff in advance. So don't worry about, what am I trying to say? Don't worry about trying to like convince them to coach. You don't have to convince anybody to coach. You just sign them up as a coach. But if you do have people who are super like, no, I'm not going to be able to do that, whatever. The 21st is the date that they're going to want to get their order in. I can't promise that they're going to get their stuff in time for January 4th, to be really honest. I looked at my shipping. I ordered the day of, and my shipping's supposed to get here on the 29th of December. So I mean, good luck. That's the whole purpose of us pushing. So be sure you invite them. That doesn't mean they can't start. They just start when they get their equipment. But it really highly encourage people to push it this direction, closer to us now. Anything else? Okay, I don't have any other announcements, Carrie, trivia games. You can plan something. This is a celebration for our team. So if you want to plan trivia and games, I'm all about it. Otherwise, we're just going to hang out and celebrate and just be really excited that we hit 5-star. Because it'll be 6 weeks of qual next Wednesday, which is really exciting. Okay, so the couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight is posting your journey on social media. This is something I try to go over every couple of months. So some of the content may seem familiar to you. Some of it may be the first time you're ever hearing it. Unfortunately, I cannot screen share right now, so I may have to use my phone and just kind of like hold it up, and I don't know that that'll work since I have my ring light on, but share that with you guys. So social media, I mean, I feel like I say it every single team call until I'm blue in the face. Social media is what it is. It's how we communicate in 2021. Okay. So unless you're going to your neighbor's house and knocking on their door and saying, hey, I have a boot camp starting, do you want to join it? You have to share your story. You have to engage with people on social media. That's how we advertise and market for free. If you want to pay for advertisement, that's a whole separate call, a whole separate issue. But if you don't want to pay for advertisement and you want to reach the people that already are in your circle, you have to post on social media. It's a non-negotiable of this job. Like, I'm sorry, if you can't post on social media, it's really going to be a struggle for you to build this in 2021. When they started Beachbody, how many ever years ago? I think 11 years ago at this point, 12 years ago, social media was not as integral. What they did at that point in time, and you are still more than welcome to do it now, are what's called fit clubs. And so they literally hosted a fit club once a week in someone's house, in a church fellowship hall, in whatever. They hosted it. They invited people to come in. They made shakes. They did, and at the time it was called E&E. Energize wasn't invented yet, but they had a supplement called E&E, which was like Energize. You can make E&E for them. You all did a workout following like the DVD, and then you signed people up from there to do the program at home on their DVDs. You can still totally do that. When I started this business and when I was in Clarksville, I had a friend named Brooke, who she's still a coach in Clarksville. I think they're still living in Clarksville anyway. She and I used to host what was called Faithfully Fit Clubs. We did it every Monday at Lifeway Church. We had people come in. We did the same thing. Guys, it's so much easier and free, and you don't have to spend a ton of time doing it on social media. It just takes consistency and practice, and you just have to be committed to showing up and doing the work and developing and taking constructive criticism and just really working on honing your message through that delivery system, right? So the first thing that I always want to address is and actually, you guys, I want in the chat box for you to write what your biggest self-limiting belief in social media is. Like, what do you struggle with the most with social media? Some people I know, I've talked to them a lot about this. For some people, it's, I don't want to seem repetitive. I don't want to get on people's nerves when the only thing I'm posting about is workouts. Or I've heard, I don't want to seem vain. It's just a lot of selfies, right? I get that. I don't know how to take a picture. Like, I literally don't know the how to. Biggest self-limiting belief in social media. So what is your biggest self-limiting belief in sharing your journey, or sharing some aspect of your journey, sharing a meal, sharing a workout, sharing a something on social media? Repetitiveness and seeming interesting. So you're trying to feel like you're interesting. That's a really good one, Carrie. I think that trips a lot of people up, especially I can identify with that as someone who's been doing this for a long time now. I feel like I'm just saying the same things over and over and over again. So I completely understand that. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that tonight, but I did want to address the stuff that you guys are personally struggling with, because I feel like I can give you all kinds of specific tips on social media and techniques and apps and all of that stuff. But if you're not going to post at all, then all of the, if that makes sense, like I can teach you about cropping, but if you won't post at all, we don't have to talk about cropping because you're not even posting anything to crop. Let's see. Renee, I don't seem interesting or talk about interesting content. Michelle, nobody wants to read about my journey. I don't look the part, but I know looks don't have anything to do with it. It's still in the back of my mind. Yeah, whether it's true or not, it's present. And I think I am inspiring, but no one wants to join me. Okay. So whether your self-limiting belief is true or not, and you guys know we're going to talk about mindset in this too, it is present. And it's always going to be that negative voice, the back of your head that stops you from pushing post or self-sabotages you when you go to publish a post and you choose a terrible picture. It's always that stuff in the back of your mind. I remember, like, for the longest time, I never wanted to seem vain on social media. So I always acted silly so that I didn't look like I was trying to be pretty or I was trying too hard. I never wanted to look like I was trying too hard, because I remember I had somebody in high school or some other like young adult, right? Or like teenager at some point tell me, well, you're just trying too hard. And so that little bit of self-confidence ding in those formative years starts chipping away at your confidence as a 21 to, I think, our oldest coach our oldest coach in our team is 63. So 21 is our youngest and 63 is our oldest. And I guarantee you, from 21 to 63 years old, the comments that people made about you when you were younger are still present in the back. Carrie, I get a lot of you inspire me, yet they will never join us. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know they're stupid heads, but whether they're stupid heads or not, those comments ring in the back of your head when you are trying to post something. It's like, don't post your body, only your face. I remember my grandmother, bless her heart, told me literally one day, she was like, you have a really pretty face, Danielle, but the rest of you, you just got to work on that. And as like shitty as that is to say to somebody, like, and I know that she wasn't like, whatever, she could be, maybe she was trying to be mean. I don't know. She's crazy. But those little things stick in the back of your head and they ding at you. And so you've got to attack the mindset issues that are going on when you are going to post in order to get over that hump of posting. I remember a conversation Layla and I had. We were at Summit and we were taking shots, and she was like, oh, and again, it was totally innocent, but she was like, my pastor's following me. I don't want him to think I'm like boozing it up on social media. And again, those comments stick at you and they change the way that you present your journey, because they just do. They stick in the back of your head. Oh gosh, Michelle. Yeah. I mean, they are blunt, and yes, you do have to love them, but like, oh, I hope when I'm a grandma, I don't mouth off like that, because it's damaging, especially when they're kids. So be sure that you are doing the mindset work with these mindset issues that are present in social media. Like, I remember I bring myself to the forefront here because I know myself better than I know you guys. But like, I remember I had a guy in like middle school tell me that my smile was as big as the Joker. And like, I could take that as like, oh, look at me, I have a big smile. Or I could take that to mean like, ha ha ha, like I have this huge, like, ridiculous smile. And so it's like you go to smile for a picture and you're like, you are feeling joyful, you are feeling excited, but all of a sudden you're like, ooh, that's a big smile, I'll bring it down just a little bit. And it's that mindset stuff that really trips you up in the back end. It's like, I don't want to take a photo that's well lit, because then people will actually see my body, rather than taking a poorly lit photo that we can hide behind, if that makes sense. So be sure that you're attacking the mindset issues behind it. And so you guys have heard me on my mindset kick before. If you were on the call with Brooke Ritchie, she went through this, but the work that you do is you ask yourself, is that true? Is it true that my smile is too big? Well, no, like my smile is my smile, right? Like it just is my smile. So then what's my first memory of that? I got to pull that out, right? We got to prove, and we can turn it around. My smile is big and beautiful, and it's part of what makes me me. So then we start deconstructing that lie, and it gives you the confidence to be able to show up for who you are on social media. So with all of that said, like I said, everything after this doesn't matter if you're not posting to begin with. You have to be posting, and you have to be posting consistently. If you need to set a timer in your phone, set a timer in your phone, or an alarm on your phone that says post on social media, then set an alarm on your phone. It, honest to God, is just a habit. So it's just building a new muscle, a new habit. And you have to build in the buffers around that to make sure that you can reinforce your new habit. So don't get tripped up in the semantics if you're not posting at all. I want you to post, and then I want you to post really well. And so I think sometimes people pass that as judgment, as like, well, you're just trying to make me look like everybody else on social media. I've heard that one before from coaches. I don't want to look like everybody else. I want to look like me. I want to make sure that my social media represents my real life. And absolutely, I want the exact same thing for you. But what I want for you, even more than that, is for the quality that, or the time that you're putting into it, to pay off. And so I was thinking about like the things to share with you guys today. And I was thinking about, like, some of us are in the life space of like crazy mom life, right? And your room's a mess and you got crap everywhere. And I know I've shared this image with you guys before, but if I took a picture like this, like literally the frame of this Zoom screen, you would think my life is so put together. Like, look at her. She's got books on her bookshelf. She got a candle. She got nice little things. But if I move, well, you're not gonna be able to see it because it's dark in here. But if I move this to my floor, guys, there's crap all over my floor. So I can crop out and I can make an image to literally look like whatever message it is that I'm trying to show you guys at the present point in time, right? And so the same goes for your social media posts. If the background is super crazy cluttered and that's not the point of your post, then you might want to move to a space where you are presenting a more professional look, or there's a background that isn't distracting. But if every post that you make is you in a heap of clutter and trash around your house, that's all people are going to be able to see, and they're not going to be able to see what you're writing. And so there's a time and a place to show the clutter. I'm not saying like hide your clutter and pretend to be somebody you're not, but I am saying like you need to present a professional, if you want people to take you seriously, you have to be professional about it. And so if you're always laying in a heap of trash and clutter, what do you think people are going to think when they think about you? So be sure that you are taking a photo that accurately represents what you want them to be paying attention to. I see this a lot. And I'm not going to call out anything in specific because I feel like at some point in time, we all are guilty of this, right? But when the photo doesn't match the words, where the photo is maybe of, I don't know, your kids, but you've got a message about how you dieted from 14 years old and all of this stuff. And like, you've got this beautiful, heartfelt story, but it's like just a photo of your cute smiling kids. And you're like, oh, okay, that doesn't make sense. And so you get excited because people are, paying attention, but you have to realize that your photo has to match up in some way. It doesn't have to be like, okay, now I took a photo of myself at 14. But your photo has to line up with the message that you're trying to send. And so that's one of my biggest points, is make sure that you're intentional about your photo. I think what trips people up about the vanity aspect of this, and they're like, well, I don't want to just post a bunch of selfies, is if all you're doing is posting a bunch of selfies and none of it ever matches up with what you're trying to say. There's nothing wrong with a really good quality selfie. But if it's always a selfie it's not accurately portraying, like, unless every message is about your face, like, it's not accurately portraying what you want to be portraying. So be sure that you post a variety of types of shots. So some of those are going to be literally close up to you. So close in your face, like I'm looking at you, you're making a personal connection to the camera, right? Some of them are going to be from here up. They're going to be more portrait style. And then others are going to be your full body. Because here's the reality, you guys. This is a health and fitness company. I'm not asking you to have a perfect body. I'm not asking you to be anything that you are not currently. But if all you're ever doing is posting a photo that's this close up, people are not going to understand that your body is changing. And that's what, if they want their body to change in some way, and you've never shown them in visual evidence that your body is changing, you lose credibility with your audience. And so I want you guys to maintain your credibility, and I want you guys to have the authority and the confidence and the trust of your people. But you can't have that unless you are taking photos with your body in them. Like, that's just part of what this is. And again, I'm not saying like expose yourself. If you don't feel comfortable in taking a sports bra transformation photo, then don't do that. But taking a transformation photo in a gigantic t-shirt will not show visible progress in your body. So take photos from different angles. Take photos in a tank top and shorts or jeans or whatever. Or I know Paige did a post recently in a dress. Like, that's great. You can see the visible difference in her from the last time she wore that dress until now. That's fine, but there has to be some kind of visual difference because this is a visual form of media. So you have to be posting that. The other thing that I want to talk about really quick is transformation photos. Most of you probably do this well, but again, I want to make sure that you guys understand the posting a good transformation photo is really, really important to your business. This is a business of transformations, you guys. People come to you because they want some kind of transformation. And if you don't have a transformation to show, you better find one you can show. Because this is a business of transformation. Sometimes that transformation is internal and sometimes that transformation is external, but you need to make sure that you're posting a good quality transformation photo every week. So I'm going to give you some highlights of what constitutes a good quality transformation photo. Number one, the before photo is always, 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 always on the left. We are American. We read left to right. Our brains work left to right. When you put an after photo on the left, it throws people's brains all off whack. They're like, what? Hold on, what? Huh? She looks better over there. Like, then they got to look for the date. Like, make it easy. When you make things hard for people's brains to understand, they stop paying attention. They move along and they will find someone else to help them. Where all you had to do was this simple thing of flipping the picture. It's like the most simple thing, but I see people do it all the time. Your before photo always goes on the left. The other thing that I want to make sure with transformation photos that you're doing is that you're using things that make sense for a transformation photo. So like, I think about a photo that I did, gosh, this was several years ago, and you couldn't even see me in it, right? Like, I was in a group of people and I was not, whatever, I can't remember even the transformation behind it, but I was in a big group of people and I used that one on the left and then my transformation photo now on the right. You can't see the person you're comparing it to. They are comparison photos. So if I was going to take a transformation of how long my hair grew, you're probably going to want your hair in the photo. If I'm taking a transformation photo of day one of 9-week control freak, and I don't know how many days 9 weeks is, but how many ever days 9 weeks is, and your final photo of 9-week control freak, those photos need to be the first day and the last day, or the first day and week 2, or the first day and week 4. And you can do multiples. Like I've done several before where, and I've seen other people do them really successfully, where it's like progress photos. So it's like you're starting day 1, maybe your 2-week transformation, then you add your 4-week transformation, then you add your 6-week transformation, then you add your 9-week transformation. So you can do that consecutively. But if you aren't making sure that they're lined up right, and again, it's some of the stuff that you're like, Danielle, that stuff's so easy to do. Like, why are you even telling us this? Because I see it done incorrectly all the time. And so it makes, when you do that, it makes people confused about your message and they don't understand. So they move past. And I want you guys to be effective. And I want your time that you're spending on social media to be worth your time. Don't waste your time on social media. I don't want you doing that. I don't want a bunch of coaches that sit around and do ineffective posts and think that they're doing something really great. It just makes me sad, because what happens is you come to me and you're all sad and frustrated because nobody's joining you. And I'm like, well, maybe we could tweak these things. And you're like, well, my social media is good. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if that's the way you feel about it, like, I'm trying to help you. And so all I'm trying to do is say there are some very easy tweaks that you can probably make to make sure that your message is lining up with your post, that your transformation photos, that you spent time getting a transformation, that they're shared well so that people see them and want to join you. My whole purpose here is trying to teach you how to get people to want to join you. So couple of other quick little things about, and then I'll open it up to like very specific so you guys can ask whatever questions you want. 2 more things. Number 1 is lighting. Do not take dark photos. Don't do it. It is not attractive on social media. It causes people to continue to scroll. They don't even want to look at what you wrote. They just continue to scroll because you did not light your photo well. It doesn't take expensive equipment. If it's early in the morning, you may want to set up an actual, I don't know how to, this is a ring light. I don't like blind you guys, but this is a ring light. You can get it on Amazon for like $19.95. You can get little ones for your phone. I think Paige has a case that like literally the outside of the case has lights on it. So you can like push the button and it has a ring light built into the case. So it's well lit photos all the time. Guys, there's 100,000 ring lights on Amazon. This is a business expense. You can write it off on your taxes. Buy the ring light. I promise it's worth it. But light your photos well, because again, that's going to make people stop their scroll and read what you have to read what you wrote. So be sure, if you're taking a picture of food and it's daytime, go take it to a window and hold it in front, hold it down in front of the window so the natural light is really good. If you can take it outside, great. Take it outside. Outside photos are awesome. But what I don't want is a dark room with you in the dark taking these shady ass photos that nobody can see. They keep scrolling and they don't care what you have to say. So be sure that your photo, again, I'm just trying to teach you how to make your time effective on social media. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about for just a second is a couple of apps that have really made a big difference for me. A couple of them. Number 1 is Snapseed. It's free on iPhones. I don't know anything about Androids, but Snapseed, free app, great lighting, great filters. You can fix photos in it. Awesome, awesome app. Second app that I have downloaded, and I was so hesitant, you guys, to do it because I downloaded it a couple years ago, got really frustrated with it because I never found a filter, or not a filter, what do they call it, a preset that I liked, deleted the app, went back to Snapseed, and then finally caved, I think about a month ago, 2 months ago, downloaded Lightroom again, spent probably a good 2 hours finding a preset that I really, really liked, or really a couple of presets that I really, really liked. And now that's what all my photos go through. So they are all consistent on my social media. So again, that way, when people are scrolling and they want to read what I have to write, they know, because based on the way the photo looks, like the vibe that the photo gives off, if that makes sense, that it's me. And it's funny because I had some, and I know it works because I literally had somebody on social media the other day comment on my Instagram. She messaged me, private messaged me, and she said, "Oh my gosh, my friend must have the same preset as you because I was scrolling and I saw her photo and I thought it was one of yours because it looked so similar." And I'm like, "Aha, yes. Then I'm doing the right thing because now what it's happening is it becomes a piece of my branding. It becomes how people recognize me so that when they are on social media, they want to stop and read what I have to write and I'm not just lost in the shuffle, you know? So Lightroom is the name of that app. It's the app is free. You can make your own presets on there. I really don't feel like doing that. I went and bought a $3 package of presets off of Etsy, followed the directions. It was a pain in the butt. Spent like 2 hours doing it, but now I spend less than 30 seconds every time editing my photo. I crop it in. I make sure like I take photos in front of, we have like a big 6-foot mirror. But when you take a photo in front of a mirror, right? Like I'm standing here and I'm taking the photo. Here's the mirror here. Here, you can see the big frame of my mirror. So I go in and I crop that out. The other thing that's really aesthetically pleasing, aesthetic just means the way that it looks, the way your eye captures a photo. The other thing that makes something aesthetically pleasing is when lines that should be straight are straight. I was talking to Paige about this the other night. She was like, "Why does this picture look so weird? Why does it?" And it was a photographer who did some Christmas mini photo shoots, right? And she's like, "I don't understand. Like, is the room crooked? Like your eye and your brain are trying to like they're like spazzing out. They're trying to figure it out." And what it was, I was like, "Oh, it's because the bench has a very prominent." It was like one of those. Oh, my chair has it, but it's on the back, like those tacks, the round beaded tacks. The bench had a big thick row of those, and because that big thick row was skewed like this, it made the whole picture look like everybody's about to fall off a ledge, even though I'm sure they were sitting up straight. But it's just the way the photographer was standing, or that the camera was positioned, that threw everything off. And again, when it's displeasing to your eye, you're going to keep scrolling. So be sure that your efforts and all of the work that you're doing to write these wonderful posts, whether they're your story or whether you're sharing a piece of value, if you're sharing a recipe, something like that, whether you're showing a workout move, whatever it is, I want that stuff to be able to be well received from people. And so if you aren't paying attention to some of the aesthetics of it, you are going to get kind of a distorted, or I should say, they're going to get a distorted perspective of what you're trying to say. The last thing that I wanted to say was quickly about stories. Almost all of these principles are the exact same on stories. So again, be cognizant in your stories of the fact that, are you facing a light so that people on your stories can see you? Are you skewed to the side? Are you like, pay attention to what you're doing. Just be, Amanda, I'll answer your question in just a second. Be intentional about your stories too. So I can go into a whole thing about making stories, but some of the top things are, when you're watching stories, number one, see what other people are doing that you like. So if other people are squishing their stories, Amanda, I know you do this sometimes, where you'll like take your video and make it smaller and then you'll write around it. If that's something that you like and you have intention on like you have a purpose for why you're doing it, then great. But if not, try to keep your stories the full frame of the phone, because that's what people's eyes are used to seeing on the phone. So they're going to click and watch. But when it's squished, again, like you're like, "Oh, what's she saying over there?" So if there's a reason why you're doing it, if there's a specific aesthetic you're going for, then great. But if not, be sure your what am I trying to say? Your story fills the full photo of your camera. The other thing, just really quick stuff on stories, Amanda, you asked if there were presets. I mean, yes. Lightroom, I assume, would be able to do the preset. I just try to use the same couple of filters. I don't really use presets specifically for my stories. I assume you could video yourself and then take it into Lightroom, apply the preset, and then take it back into stories. But I would just pick a filter that you really like. The other thing that you guys, I don't know, some of you guys who use stories, if you do know this or don't know this, I will show you. So here's your filters down here at the bottom, right? So if you scroll all the way to this side, it's really hard to see without the glare. Can you see there's like a magnifying glass right here? You can click that magnifying glass and there are literally thousands of filters. Some of them are terrible, but there are thousands of filters on there that you can choose from. And so when you do that, so like, I don't know what this one is. It's called Lean Queen. So you can try it. There's a button right here. You can click try and wow. Oh, it's like bright. Oh, that's because I clicked the wrong one. This is called Cosmic Swag. There's like here, I don't even know if you guys can see this. Wow. There's no way you can see that. It's got like bright sunbursts and wow, these are really terrible. But you can click on them. Say if you really liked this. Wow, that is a lot. You can click, make your picture, cheese. I clicked it, I can save it, and then you can save the filter on your Instagram so it's always up there. Yay, good, you learned something tonight. See, that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to get on this call and I wanted you to learn something. A couple other things for stories or really reels. Be sure that your words aren't all the way at the bottom or all the way at the top, because a lot of times they'll get covered up by your name or by the bar at the bottom, like especially on reels. I see that a lot. People on reels, they do words, but they put them so far at the bottom that your name and everything covers them all up. Trying to think if there's anything other on stories that makes a lot of sense to cover tonight. I don't know. Use polls, use the features that they're giving you. They'll continue to put you in other people's stories. Go watch other people's stories and react to them, because that will help them see yours. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to just drone on about that. I want to give you guys plenty of time. We have 15 minutes for questions. So I would love if anybody has a question about photos or posting or social media or lighting or literally anything about that. I want to be able to help you with that. So you can just unmute yourself or you can write in the chat. Don't make silences awkward for very long, because then it weirds me out.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What app, or when you were dancing in one of your videos and then you were pointing at the words, what's that one?
That's called Reel. So that's internal to Instagram. That's a Reel. That's their new feature that they have. And so I can get you guys a specific tutorial. Paige is actually really, really, really good at Reels. I wish you could get off and talk, Paige, but she's at work and can't get off video and doesn't have a microphone. But there's lots of tutorials. You can Google like, how do I make a reel? And there's like Google for days. But the best thing to do is find a reel that you liked. So like, say it's that one. You like this reel. You can go, so you have to click on the reel and then you go to the music. Paige taught me this. Like, guys, I'm 36. I don't know anything. I got to have 21-year-olds teaching me stuff. And this is the audio, so you can't really see it. But these are all the people who have done this reel. And so I look at them, I see what they wrote. Like, don't think that you have to be, I think the biggest thing with reels is don't think that you have to be original. Copy someone else. If you like it, I mean, it's not going to be the same thing because literally it's you. And so you're definitely going to have a different spin on it. But basically you list for that one specifically, she literally just videoed me in Instagram on Reels. And so how do you, if you want to get to make a reel, oh gosh, this is terrible. Okay, you see the plus sign up here. There we go. plus sign, and then it says new post. At the bottom here, you can go to new story, new reel. And so that's where you can start filming stuff. So she pulled it over from the music, like I said. So that one she did from here. She clicked this. At the bottom here, it says use audio. So it's going to come up with the camera set to reels already. Look at Amanda. She's already getting on it. And then, the music plays and you listen to the beat of the music. And I pointed first, dun, 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 dun. So like that, right? And then, so after you're done, you click the, so like, I don't know. Anyways, after you're done, it looks at the top like a story. And so you click the words and you put the words on there. And then you have to put the timing, like when do you want them to show up? And so that's at the bottom, and you just play with it until you get it the way you want it, and then you post it that way. And I agree, Amanda, we should have it's called page editing. Yes. Yeah, Paige is really good at them. But the big thing that you can take away if you're going to do some reels, and Instagram is freaking loving reels right now. So the more you can do them, the more they're going to show your stuff to people. Don't worry about being silly on them. That's kind of the whole point. It's very similar to TikTok in that way. Like that's kind of the point. And the other thing with them is, what was I going to say? Shoot. Oh, to save them. So if you run across somebody, like say you have time, and do not do this before your income producing activities. I need like a disclaimer that pops up across this. Do not make reels before income producing activities. If you've invited no one, you don't get to make a reel. End of story. But if you've invited, and if your business activity tracker is moving along and you're ready to make some social media content, then make the reels, right? But one of the things you can do is go through and save the reels that you really like, that you want to mimic or create or duplicate or whatever, or use them as inspiration. So that's something that I do. That's something I know Paige does. I think Carrie probably does something very similar because she's made some reels. So you find a reel that you like and then you recreate it. Okay, what else? I feel like sometimes I ramble in my posts, suggestions on how to keep it streamlined. Edit. I mean, I typically edit pretty frequently. In the beginning when I was posting, one of the things I did was use my voice, the talk to text feature on your phone. So I would talk and then I would go, because you can't just post it after that. Just so you know, just because you use talk to text does not mean you should post it, because that thing gets it all jarbled up sometime. But go back, like it caused me to self-edit on purpose. And I'm like, oh, I can just delete that. Sometimes it's a good thing to have longer posts, and sometimes it's a good thing to have short and sweet and concise and to the point posts. I will say you don't want all of one type. So if all your posts are a novel that people have to read, every time they see your post and they don't have 2 straight minutes to sit and read it, they're going to swipe by and they're not going to stop. So be sure that you're varying it up so that you aren't always the girl with the really long posts. But you also sometimes can't be just little one-offs too. You have to kind of mix it up so that you're keeping them moving along. I feel like I'm either long-winded novels or super short and sweet. There's no in between. Yeah, I mean, you can always, one of the things, and again, this is something that I did at the beginning, and maybe I've shared this with you guys, and maybe I haven't shared very much of it with you guys. In the very beginning of my coaching journey, I was always struck with inspiration for a post at like 11 o'clock at night. Matt was deployed. The kids were finally asleep. I had decompressed and watched TV. I'd done whatever I needed to do. I'm getting into bed. It's 11 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden my brain's on overdrive. And I'm like, 2%. All a workout is 2%. You got 98 other percent of the day. Like I'm talking about my post from today, right? All this is like jumbled up in my brain at 11 o'clock at night. I'm not going to post at 11 o'clock at night. So I would literally use the notes feature of my phone. I probably have 600 posts saved in my notes features of my phones, and you can search those, just so you know, so that they don't get lost. Because that's the other thing. Before there was a search feature on notes, I would be like, well, I don't know when I wrote that. I know I wrote something really good and inspired, but I don't remember when that is. But I would literally just lay there and write the next day's post. But giving it that buffer time typically gives you the distance from it to start doing a little bit of editing. And so chopping it down, like if you have a really long story, like say you're going to tell your story, like the thing, right? You may want to chop that up into certain pieces, and don't be like to be continued or whatever. Just get to a point of this story and find this breadcrumb and post it. Then get to this point of this story and find this breadcrumb and post it, instead of all of the, the many novels in between. All right. What else, you guys? This is so fun. I love talking about this stuff. Because I know that I say I know that you guys will implement it. I want you guys to implement it. So. What else? Write it up the night before. Yep. It's the best. Okay. And the other thing, if you guys don't know about this app, if you're posting on Instagram, I don't think they do it on Facebook, but there's an app called Planoly. And so it's I wish I could spell without looking at it. Planoly. And Planoly you can plan out your Instagram posts on it. So you connect it to your Instagram account, and you can plan and schedule it to post on your Instagram. So I do that a lot, especially living in Hawaii, where I'm 5 hours behind the East Coast. If you ever see me post in your morning, I guarantee you it was scheduled, because I am not up at 2 a.m. in the morning posting, I promise. But Planoly is a really helpful tool, especially if you are somebody who typically forgets to post. If you're somebody who's like, well, I just got busy and I just never got around to it till it was 10 o'clock at night. And then I was like, I remember Danielle telling me not to post at 10 o'clock at night. So then I didn't post at 10 o'clock at night. And now I didn't post. Use Planoly. The other thing about Planoly is, even if you don't use it for Instagram, like you can schedule it, you can get all of these posts written up, and then you can just go back in and copy and paste your words and use that picture. It's just a scheduling app for your posts. So even if it's not going to auto post them to your Facebook, at least you have them in a database that's all concise, where you can go back through and copy and paste what you want, get the picture that you want, and all of that stuff. I will say, if you're going to use Planoly for Instagram though, make sure the picture is what you want it to be beforehand. So like if you're somebody who uses a lot of Instagram filters on your photos, so like meaning you go into Instagram. I wish I could share my screen with you guys. This is back on the wrong thing. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so like, oh, hi, Carrie. I didn't even see you when I turned you around. Okay, so if you're on here, and you can kind of see that, if I go to post a photo and say I want to do, you can see this one. This one is unedited. So if you're going to post this one and you're going to use one of these filters down here, it's not going to work for you to use Planoly. It doesn't give you the filter option. So that at that point, you have to use a preset. So be sure, or a preset or some other app that's going to save over your original photo, or save a copy with the edits, and then use that photo. I hope that makes sense. Yes. Yay. Good. I'm so glad that that was helpful, Michelle. Yeah, doing that at night was really, really helpful for me, especially because when I first started this, at night was when I did my personal development reading too. So I would go to bed 30 minutes, about 30 minutes earlier than my husband. He would still be watching a TV show that I could care less about. I know that I'm getting ready to fall asleep on the couch, right? So I would go to bed, lay there, read my personal development until he was ready to get in bed. But that was always when, I mean, the personal development gives you the inspiration, right? So I'm reading Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. It's connecting on all the right levels. All of my like creative juices are flowing. And I'm like, I just got to write in my little notes app. And I would write. Sometimes I'd keep a little notebook by the bed and I would write like freehand. But that does really help give you a sense of control in your business too, because I think where I see people really stumble and falter is that they feel like they always have to post on the fly. And so they're just posting when they do their workout, or they're just posting when they eat their lunch, or, you know, they're posting in real life at real time. And while that works sometimes, I feel like at some level it starts to burn you out too, because you're always feeling like you're not on top of it. And I want you guys to feel like you're in control of your business and on top of your social media so that you don't have to think about it all the time. Because I don't think about my social media all the time. I think about it when I post and when I follow up with people and when I invite. Like, I don't sit around thinking about my social media stuff all day long. I have lots of other things to think about. And that's what I want for you guys too, is to be able to live your life and run a business doing this. So we're getting ready to be up on time. So does anybody have any last questions before we head out? Doesn't have to be about social media. It can be about anything. Okay. Well, be sure that you guys get on next week's call. Hello. Oh, hi, baby. Just want to hold your baby and pat her. Oh my gosh. I need a baby to hold. I'm telling you, somebody around here needs to have a baby, and it does not need to be me. So, dear neighbors, please have a baby so I can hold your baby. But next week, be on the call, bring a drink, bring something to celebrate with. We are going to have a fun celebration for 5-star. We'll hang out and do all the fun things. Maybe Carrie, I will put together some kind of trivia or something like that. But I'm like, it's like planning your own birthday party, you know? You're like, shouldn't have to plan my own birthday party. But super exciting news for next week. I say that means we got to fix our holes, ladies who are on the Diamond Push Squad. We got holes to fix. We got things to do this week. So be sure that you are paying attention to your downlines. Be sure you're getting in Success Club so that our team can finish the year elite. And I think that's it. And if you did not hear the big news yet, if you guys know Moira Kusaba, who is the head of Together Rising, she's a part of our bigger team. Their team officially hit #1 in all of Beachbody yesterday. So huge, huge news. I know it's not the official end of the year one. They're still pushing through the end of the year to maintain that, but they've never hit #1. So I'm incredibly proud of my friends. And I'm just like swept up in the emotion of how hard they've worked this year. And I want all of that same excitement for our team. So, all right, you guys, I love you lots. And I hope everybody has a good rest of their night. Good night.